Good morning, Curbside Life. How you doing? It's a cool name, that, isn't it? I like it. Well, it's good to be back streaming. At least I think it is. It's all going well so far. Right, let's see what we've got happening here. We need... So it's still setting up, really. None. Plugins. Audio. Record. Exclusive on. Is on. How's that sounding? Okay? Notifications on, it's good. Hi Kurt, how you doing? Sounds great, that's good. Well, we'll go through the routine in a bit, but I just need to warm the hands up on this cup of tea. I'm drinking tea today, no coffee, just ran out. So I haven't been streaming for a little bit, and the reason was, you probably noticed, if you can remember the last stream if you were here, I wasn't feeling too good. I was rough as hell, and basically what that was I had really severe flu. It absolutely took me out. The coughing was crazy. Honestly, I thought I was going to die, and it lasted ages. I mean, I haven't streamed for what, 10 days or something, so like, and I'm never ill, seriously, but that really did me. But it's been like a bug that's been going round, so it was just really a matter of time before I actually caught it, you know, unfortunately. But I got it, and yeah, it wasn't great. But I got loads of practice done, which was good. So it's like lots of cool stuff. But God, honestly, Sean, that wasn't good. So got to work on lots of stuff. Watched loads of Alan Holdsworth videos, just on kind of his life and stuff. That was really interesting. But yeah. Well, we'll get in, warm up on something, and then we'll move on to some more challenging tracks. Okay, you were sick as well. Yeah. 2.5 weeks. It's a long time, isn't it? Yeah, I got it cut. Hi Jake, how are you doing? My hands are getting stuck warming up here. Alright. Okay, so if you're new on here, please do subscribe, like the channel. We've only got 3 likes. Let's have some more liking going on, some more of this. Boom. Tap your screen, whatever you need to do. Let's get up from 3 to at least 5. And enjoy the show. So I'm assuming that the vertical and the horizontal are still working, so you should be able to see the horizontal. Okay. Is that correct? Alright. Hi Archaxion. Hi Courtney. Don't do any covers. It's all about improv today. And remembering what key you're in. No, I've never been on JTC. Hey, right, tell you what, it's very hot in here. Just take my jumper off. 2 seconds. That's better. Oh! Christ. Come on, come back camera. Right, there we go. Christ, you're good. Thank you, Arched. Please subscribe, please like the channel. Anybody there who's new, I appreciate the support. Why not even become a member? Oh, right, thank you, yeah. I'll try and work on it. Having said that, God, I'm like, it's my first kind of stream back after 10 days and I'm a bit rough. I'm a bit like, what's happening? Can't remember anything I've been working on. Because I spent a big portion of my 10 days off just really getting used to that new way of the new shapes, improvising with them, where you're doing the 2 notes and 3 notes, and then playing in really awkward areas on the fretboard. I'll pick a track and then I can just do a little bit. Let's try it. Hi Rob. So I just continue with the tune going on in my head. That was a whole descending run legato. Yes, it was. But actually, sometimes I'll do it like hammers, like legato only, left hand only. But lately I've been using a lot of hybrid picking in conjunction with that. Which gives you that more kind of Paul Gilbert-y kind of vibe. That kind of thing. Which I really like that sound. So that's the idea there. But just something I've been working on recently, really. My playing's always evolving and changing. The delay's just set to a delay. It's in sync actually, but not with the track. will. Yeah, it's direct. So all the audio is direct. Right, I never played over that before. That was an interesting journey, wasn't it? All right. All right, Arch. I found salvation. My new guitar lord. Excellent. Glad to be of service. Hi, Wayne. Wayne's World. Rock music. Great guitar, thank you. Talking about guitars, I might have a new guitar on the way. So that'd be interesting, wouldn't it? And it might be a surprise. Hi Ping Pong, I know you ask for Huey Lewis in the news every time you come on here. I'm not going to play a cover, I'm sorry. Oh, hi Benja, super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you. That's very generous. And thanks everybody being on here. Make sure you like the channel because it helps the algorithm. Chat. Ask questions, right? Because the thing is with this, I know it's a hanging chat, but anybody who's got any music questions, and it can be quite a broad area, this. So as he's watching me play guitar, I mean, asking questions about guitar is a good start. Beginner to advanced is perfectly fine. You know, if you've got, I'm big on music production as well. So anybody who's into a bit of music production, if you can see here in the background, there it is. And I've got another surprise later on potentially, but you know, if you're into this sort of thing, Ableton Live, you're also in the right place because we're going to be doing some things on there. Let's see if this screenshot works. There you go. Look at that. Which one do you prefer? That one or that one? So if you're on vertical, you'll not be able to see this because on horizontal. If you're on horizontal, you can see my computer screen. And then back to me. We've got, hey, how about that? Behind the scenes, we've also got this view. Alright, so any questions, guitar questions? How much of that was a familiar place? Were you somewhere close to Shredder's home, or was that completely new territory? I've never played on that track before. Sometimes I'm in new territory, sometimes I'm not in new territory, but it's generally it's all improvised. So obviously you have your go-to licks and things like that. I use 9s, gauge 9s. The Dario NYXLs. So interesting fact, Arch. If you look at my band, McRocklin Hutch, I've actually, Michelangelo Betio played on one of my tracks. We did a collaboration with him. Oh my god, I'm forgetting loads of stuff here. Sorry, I'm spamming your chat. I hope no, I like you chatting. It might inspire conversation. Yeah, he did give us Mab gave us the keys to the Lambo. Check it out, the track's called Fingers of Fury. That's the track name. Who am I most likely to join on? Steve Jones out the Sex Pistols. I think he'd be a laugh. Oh, what's this? Oh, we're in E minor. So I think now is a good time to remind myself of what I've been working on. Yeah, so I'll just go back on the chat. So I don't do covers. Let's see this as well. Oh look, there we go. I think that needs to come across a little bit. Very good, perfectly placed. Right, so I'll play you a McRocklin Hutch track because I don't actually produce in that style, to be fair. So that's like just backing tracks you can get off like YouTube. So I'm going to play you some of my stuff. Okay, some of the McRocklin and Hutch. So this is my band, McRocklin Hutch. And there we go, no sleep. So yes, that's my band. Let's do another one. Let's do One of my personal favourites. So do like the channel and subscribe, that would be great. So tap the screen. I used to like him as a kid. Joe's great. Right, so releases. I have been actually working on a new track, so we're getting back into that. We've been very busy with stuff. Thomas with his software development company, making lots of cool amps, and I'm doing my thing, which is lots of streaming here. But yes, we are working on stuff. Oh God, I tell you what, my playing's rough today. Not making excuses, but I think it might be time for a cup of tea. Tell you what, the time does not fly over. Right, any questions? Thanks, Joan. Quite good. Well, I do my best. You know, I try hard. I think part of it is I haven't had any coffee, so my brain's not really sped up correctly. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 guitars. But I'm going to have less soon. Because there's just a little project I'm working on. And I've got a new guitar on its way at some point, which is very exciting. Practice makes perfect sense, yeah. And my main practice is actually turning up and doing these lives. This is where, I mean, you know, doing this sort of thing really tests you out. The thing that's probably improved my playing most is doing lots of streaming. Okay, Corey. Yeah, why don't you send me a message? So if you're truly interested in buying one, there you go. I'm serious. Alright, cool. That has a Gibson. Excellent. Right, where was I? Entertaining. That's what I'm doing. Oh, first time seeing this live. Excellent. So I'm using 9s neon. Starting to go off the boil there, as you say. I'm streaming with Ecamm, so I really like Ecamm. I've used Ecamm for years and years, and actually Ecamm do, I suppose, endorse me, let me use their products, which is great. So just for disclosure. But I've never, from day one, I always used Ecamm because I could use it. OBS, I was going to say OB1. OBS, I found from day one very confusing, and then it was suggested to me a number of years ago to have a go at Ecamm, and I used Ecamm and thought, right, this is easy, and here we are. I'm from the UK, and I'm based in a place called Newcastle upon Tyne, so that's the northeast of England. Oh, thank you, Roger. It's a pleasure. I mean, doing this channel is as much as for me as it is for you guys. I mean, I love just jumping on here and improvising and playing for everybody. It's really great. And as I was saying before, it's the one thing that's really pushed my playing forward, you know, just getting up, playing in front of people. I mean, some days you have good days and bad days. Like today, I'm not like playing so great. But that's fine because, you know, at the end of the day, it's recorded. I can watch it back and I can see all the points where I was having problems, and I can kind of come up with solutions. So it's quite exciting from that point of view. Excellent. Very happy to have a new fan. Welcome aboard. What are some of the styles you jazz? Like loads jazz. Like all the styles except what I'm playing. I'm only human, yeah. So I can only play what I'm interested in. So obviously, like when I've been learning, I've obviously, like as a kid, like I did a bit of jazz, bit of country and all that kind of stuff. But generally I'm kind of interested in sort of my own style. So I don't really push myself into other styles unless there's something I'm really interested in. So I do occasionally cross over into like jazz fusion because I do like using enclosures on a good day, you know, chromatic stuff. So like all of that really comes from a fusion thing, isn't it? It's kind of you're crossing into that jazz thing, but I'm not a straight kind of jazz person. Have you ever had somebody send you lyrics for a song and record? No. I'll tell you what I used to do. So when I first started this channel, it wasn't me playing guitar, it was me producing McRocklin and Hutch tracks. So like when I'm playing the band stuff, all the electronic stuff, that's me writing all of that. And the interesting thing about me is I've always been a shred guitarist, but I had a long period in my career where I was a dance producer and didn't really play much guitar on anything. I just wrote and released a lot of music. Brown ale, does it still make it? So that's been something I've been experimenting with, just using more pick and legato, as well as hybrid picking, and as well as hammers only, and trying to create contrast. So you see that's very smooth, but it's nice to be able to change and get different ways of like tension and release just from your right hand. Have you jammed with any of your guitar heroes? Well, there was Michelangelo Badio. I was never a massive. I mean, he's absolutely amazing, but he wasn't really on my radar as a kid. But obviously, I remember his REH video, and I just thought that's like impossible. I'll never do that. And just went for like kind of Paul Gilbert and stuff like that. So Michelangelo Badio. On the album I played with Angel Vivaldi. There's Jordan Rudess playing keyboards. There's another one. That was pretty cool. So yeah, so things I'm working on is that like transition between the picking. Picking and legato. And just giving it a little bit of rhythm. I think the important thing with legato is like getting the timing right. You know, that's what makes it really sound good. So rather than making everything having a forced triplet feel, which I can't do now. Rather than having like a forced triplet feel because you got 3 notes per string, it's just, you know, if you want to play 16th notes, 32nd notes, you can do that with an even timing. And put a little bit of rhythm in. The time here is, it's 12 minutes to 8 to be precise, by the minute. I think another cup of tea is in order. So any more guitar questions? Come on, let's have some more questions. I've got loads of stuff to work on. So yes, picking, dynamics between techniques, that's like the theme of the week, definitely. And then the other thing is just trying to keep up with that kind of string patterns where I'm using. So this is what I've been obsessing about. Can't think of a key. C sharp now. It's this kind of thing. So I'm putting 2 notes in there, I'm doing 3 notes. 2, 3. But it fits perfectly round arpeggios, so you can easily get sort of legato, 3 notes per string lines with your arpeggio lines, and you're kind of targeting chord tones, so it always sounds like good. I think that's why when you listen to my phrasing that it sort of sounds quite in and melodic when I'm playing fast. It's always kind of round chord tones there. Oops. Going a little bit too fast myself there. Iron sharpens, that's it. Taking notes, yeah. I mean, I'll do some more structured lessons, but I think like one of the big game changers for me just recently is just this idea, and I keep banging on about this on the channel, is I know like with us shredders we like to do 3 notes per string. So that's E minor, right? I play the same on acoustic as I do electric. So you notice that I'm doing 3 notes. I'm starting on the 5th string, E minor, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3. And then if I do the arpeggio, the E minor 7 arpeggio, you can see how the arpeggio fits the scale. So it's very easy to go between arpeggio tones and scale tones. And you just do that for like all the positions. So like here, that's like, if we're in E minor, say we're in A Dorian, so I tend to think of it as E minor. You've got this flat 5/7. So we can kind of play about with that. And it's very easy to cross into different positions like that. So I can go from my flat 5/7 into G major 9, back to flat 5/7, down E minor 7, E major 7. And you can always go into your pentatonic whenever you want. Well, you can do it, yeah. I mean, obviously you got to practice it, but even if you weren't playing it like at a million miles an hour, which I'm kind of doing, which is a little bit unnecessary, what it's going to do is it's going to give you, you know, all the notes that are melodic. So that's E minor pentatonic. We could do E minor 7. And that's like an E minor 7, adding some scale notes. So you can see, like, wherever I'm moving, I'm hitting chord tones or pentatonic notes. So I'm always sounding in, even when I add outside stuff. Right, let him do his jam. We'll have a cup of tea. Yeah, the tea's kicking in. I normally like coffee. Obviously, it doesn't take long before I get into like the ridiculous shredding, but you get the idea. You can just play along melodically, and it usually makes sense. So I like to try and think of the music that we just heard, but just kind of keep it in my mind and try and kind of jam along with the music that's in my head, which I do like to do. No, I didn't incorporate any shredding in my dance music. It was just dance music. But I moved through various genres of it. So I remember when I started, it was very stadium, future, not EDM, but future house. And I got a lot of support off some really big artists. I was managed by Two Dutch, which was a really cool company to be involved with at the time. And I was getting played out and supported, I suppose, by Lost Frequencies, Don Diablo, Paul Oakenfold. Some really big DJ producers were really into my music, and I charted 7 times. Tea, so much. Right. So with tea, okay, I'm only drinking tea in the morning because I haven't got any coffee. And the reason I drink tea is at night, so I'm not like hyper. But I'll spend all day drinking coffee. So I still do like all the production. I'm really into my synths and production stuff. So an interesting thing that you may not know is that I do actually have a music production coaching group that I run every Monday night at the minute. So if anybody's interested in actually joining that and learning to make absolutely tons of music, it's a monthly fee, and basically you turn up on a Zoom call with me and I show you how to make absolutely tons of music. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, it might be worth just sending me an email. Also, if you look in the community, there's a post I put, and you can actually get my direct number, which I haven't got at hand at the minute, which I'll get for tomorrow so I can post it up. I think Enzo's got it. What's my favourite guitar party trick? Not playing the guitar at a party, but if I have to play at a party, I just jam. That's it. I don't really have any. If I'm at a party, it's a day off for me. Yeah, sharpening irons. You know, there's no end to knowledge, and you need to get as much into your head as you can. Oh, wrong note there. Yes, the other guy in my band, Thomas McRocklin. You need to check him out because he's really good. He's way better than me. And obviously, like, one of my like, I'm a massive Alan Holdsworth fan. I absolutely love Alan. Oh, there's more tea in here. Oh, there's a tiny bit in. Oh. Oh God, have you seen the time? It's 6 minutes past 8. Hold on, I'll finish this. Have you? Bad for good? Wow. That's a while, isn't it? Well, guys, we're coming to an end, I think. I've really enjoyed sitting here and playing, so I hope you haven't got too bored. I'm on a mission to practice now. There's like lots of things that that I need to work on, which have come apparent doing this live session today. So if you're interested in coaching, please do get in contact. You can find my email in the description. Also, there's a community post where there is the business number and you can contact me and say hello there. And that is it from me. So I will see you guys tomorrow morning for some more shredding. But I'm going to be practicing, that's the thing. Alright then. Bye everybody.